Hello everyone, I'm home. Welcome back to my channel. I'm having such an amazing week and I wanted to share it with you all. So this is going to be a wild and crazy all over the place video, but I think you're going to have fun. We're going to start with going to a little thrift store and do a little thrifting, and then we got a big project towards the end. Now I don't know if you guys are like me, but when summer is here, I'm thinking I'm not going to do too much for fall, and then fall gets here and I do a bunch, I go overboard, and then I say I'm not going to do that much for Christmas, but then here I am. I'm already drying oranges. We had some that were going bad, so my whole house smells like Christmas. So the other night, I'm going into the Goodwill over by my son's, and I saw this cute little roll top desk I thought you guys would love. It had some writing in it so that somebody had drawn some real neat little pictures. No, I'm sorry, we're at Restore now. This is a little one-room schoolhouse desk. This was a little, like, slab of, like, I don't know, like slate that was having this cute little Christmas design on it. I thought was just adorable. But I have so many little things to hang around at Christmas. I didn't get it, but I thought it was cute. Then I found this. It was a tin, and that's the picture that I got at a thrift store one day for 99 cents. They had a lot of vintage trays with Christmas designs, the really old-looking ones. I didn't get any because I have so many trays, and I don't really need Christmas ones, but I thought these were so pretty, and this Currier and Ives is just beautiful. And you know, I have those metal trays, glass ones. I have them stacked everywhere. And I don't really want to store these for Christmas, but they were really cute. And then I got tickled at this. I thought some lady was really organized in the tin section. She put her obituaries in this tin. It was empty, but I thought that was pretty funny. That looks like something my friend Dima would have done, or my grandma. Store all of her obituaries in a tin. Then I got this little snowman for 99, or Santa for 99 cents, and I'm going to do a Pottery Barn treatment on it, and you'll see it in the next video. I saw these cute little beaded ornaments. They had all kinds of cute mugs, and when you see my project coming up, you'll see why I need a new mug. This one reminded me of Rosie. She would have loved that one. And this one was really pretty and huge and really good quality, but it had a big chip in it. And they were only 50 cents. And I thought this little mug was cute. It's newer, but it's made to look vintage, like the ones back in the, I don't know, 30s or 40s. I thought it was awful cute. They had a lot of good Christmas books. Even if you don't want to use the books, they look pretty in decorating for Christmas. This one was by Johnny Erickson, and I used to love to read her books. And I didn't buy but a couple of Christmas books because I don't need any. But look at this one. It's got a little Amish buggy on it. And this one has the horse-drawn buggy. I don't know. I just thought it was pretty. And then I saw this one, and they had two of those, and then another pretty Christmas book. And they just look pretty, like on a little easel in your kitchen or under the tree or in a sleigh. I love books. I can put them just about anywhere. So I thought I'd take pictures of those for you guys. And then you guys want to know what's in these bags, don't you? These are a bunch of bags. Kevin and I were going through a town the other day on our way to our son's that we used to stop at their little church thrift store all the time. And we hadn't been there for a long time because I always forget to stop, never know when they're open, that kind of thing. Well, he said, you want to try the thrift shop? And I said, yeah, let's go in there. We haven't been in there for since last year. It's the one where we got the garbage bag full of stuff for $2. So we went in, and as soon as I walked in, oh, they were so happy to see us. And they're such nice ladies. And I knew I was in trouble because I saw a table full of old dishes. And guys, I went crazy. This little transferware picture caught my eye immediately, so I had to pick it up for 50 cents. This gravy boat that matched it was only $1. Had to grab that. And then when I got home, this is where I put them. I put both of them up on top of my pie safe. I don't think you have to have a whole set of anything. I just buy these because they're super cheap. If that was in an antique store for $15 or $10, I wouldn't have bought it. But for 50 cents and $1, it's a cheap little luxury for me, and they look pretty sitting around. And then I found this, and remember a couple of weeks ago I found this same mug at that free place alongside the road. Everything was free, and it had the little Santa on the side. This was in excellent condition, and they had $1 on it. I didn't get it because I already had that other one, but it was awful cute. And then I saw this. I thought it was one of the prettiest butter dishes I have ever seen in my life. I don't recall ever seeing this pattern before. It was only $1. It was in perfect condition. I brought it home and cleaned it up, and I just love it. And then I got this little table. Well, there was material and table runners. This was a table runner or material. I can't remember. There was a little bit of everything. And they were $1.50. And I sew a lot, and I thought that little runner was pretty. This was just a little piece of mushroom colored fabric for $1. More material for 25 cents. I use that kind of stuff. It's kind of like a muslin. This was a pretty pink depression piece for $1. I have a friend who collects that, so it'll probably be gifted to her real soon. I couldn't pass that beautiful piece up for $1, and there was nothing wrong with it. I got this pretty little crock. It's a 1-quart crock, and I didn't look at the bottom. I just got it because I think it was $2. And I was so tickled. I was saying, Kevin, take this stuff, hold this stuff. I got to get this other stuff. And so he was talking to the people because he knew one of the ladies. I think he went to school with her daughter. They were up there yakking. He doesn't care to look around these stores, but he'll sure hold my stuff. And when I got home, I looked on the bottom, and it was a Roseville Ransbottom from Roseville, Ohio. They're not particularly old, but not real new. And I got this little white pitcher. It's real tiny, like a creamer for $1. I thought I'd put it in my little dishes display. And this I bought. It's one of those big 1-gallon lidded jars. Those are kind of expensive even at Walmart. Then I got this. I already have one, but my mom had this when I was a kid. She always had it sitting in the bathroom. It had a little bowl underneath it. And I just bought it to sit in my cabinet in my bathroom. Memories of my mother. It still smells like the bath oil that was in it. And this is one of my favorite parts of getting home from these cheap thrift stores. 10 cents, 25 cents, $1, 50 cents. That's fun for me. I told Kevin, I don't drink and I don't smoke. I don't party. I just thrift. And so I brought the little creamer home and set it inside my child's cabinet, and it looks so cute. Even though none of these pieces match, they go together well. And also at that thrift store, I got this bag. I was just about to leave, and I got this big bag of round glass bulbs, and every single one of them works. You guys help me out and tell me if you think these are vintage. I looked them up, and I couldn't really find any, but they don't look new, and I don't remember them in the stores, and they all worked, and they're all beautiful. And then I also got this at that thrift store for $1, and I had just seen one of these at an antique store, or primitive store, and they wanted like $12 for it. Pretty plate at the Goodwill, a mid-century modern Christmas dish that was beautiful, but it had a big chip in it. I always shake these when I walk by. I can't help it. I love them. These are some little, I just wanted to show you these little goblets. They're cordials that could have been for my little kids' table. They had lots of those. A little ironstone salt and pepper shaker set that I wish I had bought, but I didn't. This was beautiful, and I need help from you guys. I don't know if those are oyster dishes or what, but they have the little indentations all the way around. It was beautiful, but I didn't buy it. And then I'll take a Pennsylvania Hitchcock chair any day of the week for $6. My goodness. My sister-in-law went to a yard sale about 30 years ago and got me a $2 chair like this. And I didn't like it. She didn't like it, but she said, I think you could sell that. It's probably worth more than $2. And I didn't know anything about it, and I put it in my little store next to my beauty shop. And one day some lady came in. I think I put $10 on it, and she came in and just grabbed it and gave me $10. And later on, while I was cutting her hair, she goes, I can't believe I just got a Hitchcock chair for $10. And I was like, uh-oh. So I told my sister-in-law, and she said, well, let's try to find out about them. Well, back then, you can just look things up like you can now, but we researched Hitchcock chairs and found out they were kind of valuable. They were worth more than $2, and this one was solid as a rock. The paint was still good on it. Now the seat does have a little bit of paint on it. Someone has spilled paint on it, but I touched it with my nail and it came right off, so I can take a light sandpaper to it and it'll be fine. And then it'll be a beautiful Hitchcock chair. And I'm not going to sell it. I set it there in the corner. I may put a small Christmas tree on it. I don't know. But it's going down in my primitive room for sure. So, here's my new project. Our ceiling on our porch has needed painted for about 3 years. And my husband's a painter, but we just never got around to it. And I thought it had mold on the ceiling or real bad dirt. Brad and I cleaned it with TSP and mold cleaner, and it didn't come off, and we discovered that it was just faded a little bit, the paint was. So it's got real wood paneling on the ceiling, though. That's the good news. It's good hard ceiling, and there's gaps where they put the seams, and I want to put beams across there, because here's what I'm going to do. My girlfriend about last Christmas sent me a picture of a beautiful porch. She found it on Pinterest, and it was a winter Christmas porch. Oh, it was like a cabin. And she said, "Is this not like your porch? The door and the window and everything, the size of it, is all in the same place. You should so do this to your Christmas porch." And I said, "Well, Christmas is in 2 weeks. I can't get all that done in 2 weeks. Plus, look, it's all made out of wood." So that set the ball rolling, and I started thinking about it. And since last Christmas, that's all I could think about, is how I want to make my porch like that picture. So in the picture, they had a wicker settee painted dark brown. I'm at the thrift store the other day, and I find this one, and it's solid, it's heavy, it's good quality, but it was like a light tan color. But it was $12. And I told Kevin, I said, I'm going to get that, and I'm going to do my Christmas porch like that picture. Now, I can't find the picture, but I found several on Pinterest that are about like it. So I've started spray painting it here. I don't have it finished yet. And then, guys, I dove deep, and I went and got some brown paint to match my porch posts, and I started painting that ceiling. Kevin kept saying, "Let me help you." And I'm like, "Nope, I'm going to do this myself." And it took me 3 days because my neck almost died. But I've almost got it done, and it's beautiful, and it instantly started warming up the porch. I was standing there painting thinking, man, it's getting cozy out here. And then where the gaps are, where they put the 3 pieces of paneling together, I'm going to put beams on those 2 gaps. So ever since I've decided I was going to do that porch, every time I go to the thrift store, I'm finding all kinds of cool things that relate to the picture that she sent me. I found these 2 placemats that say "Believe," and I can make pillows out of those, although I think I'm getting too heavy on the pillow situation, and I'll show you that later. And we stopped in Restore one day, and I found a couple of things in there. This cone, I don't know what it is, but I'm going to put greenery in it or something. I found 2 big rolls of velvet ribbon. One's about 2.5 inches wide, and one's a little wider than that. And I want a lot of pretty big red bows, just like this inspiration picture on my greenery, which I have tons of greenery down in the basement. And these were $1 a roll, and as you can see, there's quite a bit left on them. And I'm a pretty good bow maker, so I'll be able to make all those big, pretty bows. Then I saw these 2 long, skinny stockings with the buffalo plaid pattern, and I thought, well, those would be cute hanging on the porch. And I may put an M and a K on the top of them for Marcy and Kevin, or they might just hang out there somewhere. I don't really know, guys. I'm all caught up in this. And so I looked, and I figured they'd be $2 or $3 a piece, but they were 50 cents a piece, so I got Kevin and I a stocking for the porch. I picked up this little black frame because I have a picture of my boys, and they have little buffalo plaid Santa hats on. I think they're buffalo plaid. Anyway, it's a cute picture of them holding their teddy bears in front of the Christmas tree, and I like to sit it out at Christmas, so I might make a print of that and put it on the porch. I'm getting too much stuff on my porch. And then I pulled in the little runner that I got at the thrift store the other day, thinking white would tone all this red and black down a little bit. But the picture that my friend sent me was on Pinterest, and I'm still searching for it. But if you go on there, you'll see a lot of pretty Christmas porches that look like what I'm talking about. I got this little candle at TJ Maxx on clearance for $3 because it didn't have a lid. And I didn't care about that because it still smelled good. It was cranberry. And I came home and opened the junk drawer, and there was a lid that fit it perfect, although I don't really need a lid. Then I found this, I think at Hobby Lobby, but it could have been TJ Maxx. It's going to be a pillow cover for my pillow that I put my witch on for Halloween. I picked this up at Dollar General. I don't need any more mugs, obviously. I have lots, but it was the pattern I liked. It was big, had an M on it, and I just could see it sitting on the little coffee table in front of my little wicker bench. So I got that. Picked up a few more greeneries at the Hobby Lobby half-off sale. These are the real soft, rubbery-like greenery that is so pliable, and it just, if you lay it on a shelf, it'll fall down over the shelf, and it's so pretty. And some berries. All these were like $1 and $2 a piece. And then, of course, in my basement, when I get into all my decorations, I'll have all kinds of faux poinsettias. Then I was at Menards the other day and I found on clearance these big Serpa. Is that how you say it? Serpa blankets. I thought the red and black one could be the seat cushion for my bench, and the white one could just drape over the bench. It's kind of a winter white. Beautiful. I'm in deep, guys. Oh, and I was going to show you, I got a big wooden old embroidery hoop in the free bin the other day at the Mission, and I grabbed it. I always do when I see them cheap because I embroider a lot, and after you use them for a while they'll get to kind of stretching out and they're not as good. So this one's in good shape, so it'll be great. And how did this get stuck in all my stuff? Probably because Kevin was with me. He said, oh, I gotta have some turtles, and he said, you can use that box in your display. He said that'd look pretty on your porch. And he hasn't opened them yet, so I think I'm going to tuck them back and put them up for Christmas because we don't need a bunch of turtles. Gosh, I would eat all of those. So yeah, here's my bed covered with all this stuff, the spare bedroom. And I'm so excited, but I'm in the middle of something else right now that I have to do before I can get this all set up. And I will show you. The ceiling is painted. The wicker thing is painted now. Got to do a little bit of sewing, then decorating, and I'm excited. Then while I was at the Covered Bridge Festival, we found this booth that had all this really cheap marked down stuff. They had stuff stacked to the ceiling, and they had these velvet totes for $1. And they had cream colored, which I knew would get dirty, red, black, gray, purple, pink, and this pretty evergreen color. So I got the evergreen one. I wish I'd have picked up a couple more because they're big and they're really nice. So I just stuffed all my stuff in there and it's sitting in the bedroom until I get ready to go. So you guys remember last two summers ago, I built a wooden wall at the end of our porch to keep the wind down a little bit. And I bolted that wall to this old farm table. Well, the wind took it one day and tore it up, and I fixed it, and then it moved it again, and it was just awful, so we took it down. So I have missed that wall because not only was it warm and cozy and cabin-like in there, we didn't have all that wind, and you couldn't hear the highway as much, and you couldn't see trucks going by, and it was great. So the other day I got a wild idea, and Brad happened to be here, and he was like, oh no. And he said, what are we doing now? I said, hey, I got an idea. We had to take that table that was next to here's Brad helping me, that was next to my barn that we eat at, into the barn for the winter. So I said, hey, we could take that table and build a hutch to go up on top of it and bolt it to the table and bolt it to the ceiling, and it would block the wind and it would block all that stuff. And it would look like an old piece of furniture. And Brad's like, oh, I don't know about that. He said, the wind will just knock it down no matter how much you bolt it. I said, well, let's try. So we went and got all of our scrap wood and we started in. And Brad's so funny. There were some crooked pieces. And he'd say, oh, wait, this is crooked. And I'd be like, yeah, well, it's too bad. And he's like, you need to learn to measure. So there's the black farm table, which don't worry about my outside settee thing. I've got plenty of tables in the barn. So we're going to set this hutch piece that we're building up on top of that table, and it goes all the way to the ceiling. It's going to get bolted. We're going to turn it a little sideways so that the wind doesn't hit it straight on, and I think it's going to be okay. This is it laying on the floor. That's the bottom. We're using all the old wood we could find. Brad was upset because he didn't think it was coming together the way perfect, like he would like for it to be. And I said, Brad, I want everything to look old and dilapidated, like it's seen better days. And he goes, well, this is certainly going to look like it's seen better days. So I'm doing good. So we're going to pick that up when we get the back put on it and stain it. And I'm going to stain it black and stain the shelves the oak color like the table. And let's cross our fingers. Okay. You'll see all that in the next video. Then Brad, working for the town and their town cleanup, brought me this from the trash. It was a little fire ring, and he thought I could do something with it. So I'm going to make a round wood top for it, and it's going to be my little coffee table in front of my little bench. I'm excited, guys. I can see it all, and this year it's going to happen. So got the ceiling all painted. It's warm and cozy in there. Looks like a wood ceiling. Got all my little things to put in it, and I'm excited. So Kevin and I went to get our car worked on the other day, get the oil changed, and we sat at the Fountain County Courthouse on their little bench out front waiting for our car, and it wasn't too cold, and we just sat there talking, and we got to talking about something sentimental to me, and I started crying. And Kevin goes, "What's wrong?" And I said, "Oh, let's talk about something else." And he puts his arm around me and he's like, "It's okay." And people were walking by, lawyers and people going in for court and stuff. And I told him, I said, "I bet you anything they think we're getting a divorce," because I'm sitting here crying and you're trying to make things right. But anyway, we got a chuckle out of that. And I was looking at the beautiful architecture on this courthouse. Can you imagine back in the day how they did all that? And nowadays we have like electric lights and electric signs all around it, and it doesn't look quite right, but it sure is beautiful, and I enjoyed looking at all that beautiful architecture. And then I came home and I put my little tree up in the kitchen, which is going to have to be moved, and my winter curtains put up. But that little tree always starts with this little card that Rosie made me, a little tag. I put my little jugs on there that I'd been buying. Well, I bought 2 recently, and I thought they looked kind of cute. And then, of course, it always has my stoneware ornaments that I made and the pears that I made, and just my little antique baskets. And I just kind of haphazardly threw this together. Oh, look at this. This is a little 2-inch cup I got at Goodwill the other day for 99 cents. It's got the pears on it and real antique. I just love it. But I just threw this tree together to have a little Christmas in the kitchen until I have time to really work on it. And I'll get it all perfect and I'll show it to you later. But I thought I put the little black truck under it for some candy. But then I thought that little black truck might go out on my porch when I get my Christmas porch done. Haven't quite decided yet. But you can see it's empty right now. I put candy in it and it goes pretty fast. So I'm going to take down those curtains, put up my winter curtains, fix the tree a little better, and it's starting to feel like Christmas around my house. Now, in the next video, I'm going to show you, hopefully, the completed Christmas porch. I don't know if I'll get it all done, but I'll show you the cabinet and everything, and the little coffee table. But I'm real excited about this weekend. A girlfriend and I are going to a little shop called the Gingerbread Shed, and it's actually several little buildings. It's sheds out in her yard, and this place is incredible. And if it's not too crowded, I'll take some pictures for you. And I'm sure I can get some pictures. But I'm really looking forward to it because my friend's never been there. And she's going to be excited to see all this. This little place is so crowded with stuff. I usually go there when there's not a crowd and you can barely walk through it. So when there is a crowd, it gets kind of claustrophobic, but you'll love all the stuff she has, and I think you'll enjoy it. So I'm going to take you on that little tour, show you what I'm doing on my porch, and just get down to the business of Christmas now. It's next thing around the corner. And of course, Thanksgiving's got to be right there in the between it, but which I love. That's probably one of my favorite holidays. So we'll be doing that too. So until then, I love you guys from the bottom of my heart, and I can't wait to see you on the next video.